Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa. Today is going to be day 40 of my 100-day challenge, and today I wanted to make a holder for my Tim Holtz little people. There's a lot of them in there. There's like 133. I had a video, I mean the stack was just mounting of them. I'll insert a part of the video, me sorting them into different piles and categories. So I landed on that there's 6 different categories of these. Like there's kids, men, women, couples, groups. I think kids groups were the 6. So I wanted to get 6 pockets that I can put into one holder to make something to hold these guys. A little bit easier than I had them in one plastic bag, so it's very hard to go, and they're not sorted, and I like things sorted. So all right, so I found these little expandable pockets on a YouTube video. Something similar to this. I'm not sure if it was exactly like this, but pretty close. So I'm going to show you how to make these real quick, but I want to show you my process of how I landed on something. So these are made from a 6x6 sheet of paper. They're really cute. They probably make great gift card tag holders. I have a cut up gift card that I use for my tags, but that'd be perfect for a gift card holder. It's a little bit expansive. You could probably stick even a little gift in there too. But that's a cute size for that. And then I'm like, well, that's too small for these guys. You know, if I stick my whole group in there, well, this guy cut his head off too, but it's just a little too hard to see. So I decided to use the 12 by 12 sheet, the other side of the 12 by 12 that I cut these 6s from, and make a tall one. And I thought, oh, a tall one. But when I did that, I'm like, you can't get in there and see what you got. So, like, that is not going to work. This might be great as a, like a flip, I thought, on a journal page, though. Stick a tall tag in there or a journal card, glue that part down. So, there's that one. So then I took a but my old standby that I love to use lately is my 8x8 sheets that I got out of this, and decided to make one out of that. And lo and behold, I think it's a perfect size. I can put them in there, and they cover that guy. He's tall enough, and then when I open it, it's big enough to kind of fetch through there. So I figured I could make 6 of these pockets, glue them together, and then make one big cover to go through them like a pouch, and have a holder for them. So I'm going to put these guys to the side. I'm going to show you how to make this one, and then I'll finish making these because it's the same process, just different sizes. So, all right, let me get my scoreboard here. All right, so get this one out of the way. I picked a double-sided paper that I figured I'd never use again when I did this because I wasn't sure how they were going to turn out. So I'm going to use the words on the outside because I think they look better, but then the inside, like I said, is kind of cute, especially for a gift to give somebody with that gold. I think that's adorable. So, okay, so to do these, you start with your 6x6 that you want to have down the sides. So figure that's the front top where the words are, the bottom. So we want to go down the sides. We want to go down 1 inch down the side, and then at 5 inches. Now you can flip it around if you want to do 1 inch on both, but since it's 6x6, 1 and 5 should work. And that is going to be the sides that we end up using for the accordion part. Okay, so after you do that, you need to figure out which side is going to be the top that's going to flip up. So we're going to put that far away. Now on all these ones I did, the way I figured it out is I figured out what half of the sheet would be. So this is 6, so 3, and then add 1/2 inch. So I'm going to score at 3.5. So on my 12-inch long one that I did, I scored half of 12 is 6, so I scored at 6.5. Okay. All right, so once you score, did I score? Oh, I did. All right, once you score there, you fold that up and you have your pocket. Now, if you want to keep it like this to make it just a tuck, you can do that. Otherwise, you can score again, not right where that fold is, but probably like up a line or two just to give it a little bit of space to fold over. So I'm just going to score that. And that's going to be my eventual fold over. Okay. Now, you want to get rid of the top part here because you don't need that. I'm just going to cut on the score line here, and then this score here I'm going to cut just below the fold so that the accordion part does not go, it doesn't get caught down here. So again, we're going to cut, it's fine to cut right on the score line here, but then when we get down to this one, we're just going to cut just on the inside and get rid of the score line. Now on this one, what I did is I took one of these, I cut it down a little bit. Oh, maybe I didn't. No, cut it. I rounded the edge to fold over. Hard to see. To fold over to add some little bit of fun there too, but also to make this a little bit stronger. Not necessary, but that can be done with that. So now there's two ways to get the accordion. Let me get this out of the way for the first way. All right, so for the first one, what you're going to do with, if you don't want to score it, you just go ahead and fold the side up to the score line. This paper is pretty thick, so I don't want to fold it in between. And then this is the hard part. You're going to fold that in half, thick paper, and score that. All right. So then you're going to unfold that, fold it up, and then you're going to fold it back on the first fold line, and then fold it up on the second one, and then back on the third. So that is going to become the side plate. Now, the way I find it easier, since I have a scoreboard, is since this is 1 inch, you just make a score at 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4. And you do the same fold. You fold up at the first on the side, and then you fold back on the 3/4 score line that I made, and you fold back on the 1/2 inch score I made, and then finally you fold back on the 1/4 inch. Now, as you can kind of see, that's perfect. This was a little wonky because it's hard to fold. See how it's wonky? It's hard to fold that second one together. So I find it much easier, especially if you have a scoreboard, to just do that and make the score mark. So, all right. So we're gonna use. Oh, first. If you want to round the fold over edges, I'll use the bigger one. Oh, let's not put it in straight this time. Okay, here we go. All right, so we round that. And I also check to make sure that this is not sticking up too far for it. If you wanted to put a thumb hole in there, this would be a good time to do that. I'm gonna just put a little tiny one there. Too bad I don't know how to center things. Okay, that's a little better. And then if you wanted to ink-a-dink-a-doo. Don't know where my inker went to. Oh, of course it's on the floor because that's my life. Okay. If you want to ink any of these, now would be a good time to go ahead and do that before it is closed. So I'm not going to ink too much because it's not really necessary. So, okay. Now what I would say the hardest part of this, I know you would think it's not hard, is the gluing part. So if you have that, the strip tapes, that would probably work well, especially if you have like this 1/4 inch wide. I do not, so I'm going to have to use the quick drying Fabri-Tac. Could probably use that glitter glue, but the hard part is getting this bottom part to go in there and flip it over without getting too much glue on your fingers, and trying to get the accordion to go as close to the side as possible. Oops, without going too far in. Okay, all right, so you can take a little bone folder and flatten down inside, and don't push too far down to put a hole in there. Don't ask how I know you shouldn't do that, but don't push too far in there to do that. And then on the outside you can kind of go with your hand, making sure that it does not, you can see the glue strips here, does not glue the accordion shut. Okay, and there you have it, a little pouch. And like I said, you can add it to your page if you want, use it as a flip, make it into a little hidden spot. If you didn't put the notch out, if you want to put at least a piece of Velcro there, some magnets on there, maybe one of those clips, paper clip things to keep it shut, but super cute. Okay, so that's how you make them. So I have, like I said, I'm going to make these to fit this pouch. So we're going to go ahead and I need to make 6 of them for my project. Now, I have picked the 8x8 sheets. I've done a few already. I've picked some of the darker ones, some map ones that I probably won't use too often. And since they are single-sided, and you really don't see them because they're glued together, they're a little thinner to start, but it works just as well. So, okay, so same rules or same steps as the other one, just maybe different measurements. So, once again, we're gonna score 1 inch, and since this is 8 inches, we're gonna score. Oops, did we slide? We did slide. We're going to score at 7 inches. Okay, and like I said, those are the side. Those are the side things. So now I figure out which one's going to be my top folded forwards, which is going to be this one. So 8 inches. So again, half is 4. Add half an inch. I'm going to score at 4.5 inches, and that is going to be my front. Okay, now something a little bit different I did, since these are single ones and not as thick, is I'm going to fold over these 2 edges to give them a little bit more strength. You see this one is folded over and it's folded over. So on the front panel, I just did 3/8 of an inch. So not the 1/2 inch, the one that's right before that. Just to give it a little bit of strength. I didn't need a lot to go in. Now this one, since it's a little bit deeper, I did score at the 1 inch mark. And that's just because, like I said, it's tucked in farther than I need it to be, but I just wanted a little bit above my pouch. I didn't need a huge amount above my pouch. So if I just wanted to have it go right in, I'd probably do, since this is 1.5 inches, probably do about 7/8, maybe 3/4, just to fold it in. But since I want it to be just a little bit hanging out, I'm going to score it at the 1 inch mark. And that's going to be just perfect to make my little pocket there. So, okay. Now, same rules as before. We end up accordining this. But what I want to do is, first I'm going to get rid of, again, my sides on the top here, or the back I should say. So we cut along the score on here, and again we're going to cut below the score just to get rid of the bulk. Do the same on this side. Cut along the score and then right below the score. Get rid of the bulk. Scraps. You can see all my other map ones in here. I just keep throwing those scrap pieces in there. Okay. All right, so this is basically, this top part is done, so I'm going to throw a little glue on there just to get him. Oh, yeah, no, I will curve him, do the corner round after he's glued. So we're just going to glue him down nice and taut. Okay, so now I'm going to do the accordions here, but I want to get rid of this part because I don't want to have to fold that as any more bulk in there. So I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to cut just inside the part that's the accordion and cut there just to get rid of that. And get rid of that. Okay. All right, so I can glue that down because it's not needed anymore. Okay. All right, so there is going to be my basic pocket. Like I said before, oh my goodness, there it is. Before I glue the sides up, I want to round that because it's kind of hard to round it once it's in there. So okay, and I gonna get a little thumb hole in here so that I can get to my little people. Shoot so far. Okay. And like I said, if I wanted to do some inking on here, to do that before is the time. Okay, so let's get that out of here. All right. Too many things. All right, so again, if you wanted to do the folds, we're going to fold the first line up to there, and then we'll fold it to itself. It's not as hard with this one-sided paper as it is with that double-sided paper, so. And we're going to fold it up, fold it back, and back. So we have this accordion ready to go. Or, like the other ones, we can score it at the 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4, which is definitely the way I prefer to do it. But I wanted to show you both ways that you can do them. All right, so. All right, I think my scoreboard is done for now. All right, so once again, hardest part of this whole thing, gluing it shut. All right, and okay. All right, so it in and hold it down. All right. That's oh, that landed. Oops, slide it over. Didn't slide over. Okay. And once again, get the bone folder just to make sure it's down. Don't poke too far. To put a hole in the bottom of your paper. Okay. All right, so that one's done. Now, whoops. Okay, let's close it down for a second and that. Okay, so now the next thing I do is I'm going to glue these back to back so that the tall pouch is together. I was thinking about doing it this way, but then there's a lot of more tall pouches in the way, and I figured if I do it this way, it's really only one tall pouch between the three. So I am going to glue the dickens out of the center of this, and then I'm going to throw a little wet glue on the edges just to give it extra strength, especially on the top where there's going to be possibly a little bit more pull for it. Okay, so, all right, back to back. Stand it up so I know it's pretty close to, and it should be the same height since I measured everything. But, you know, things get folded a little off, possibly. You know, life. Okay. All right, so we're going to squish and squish and squish a little more. And we're going to make sure we don't glue our accordions together. Best is to use that bone folder in there because you can really get inside and make sure you've done it. Okay, so there is that. Now, I have done 2 sets of that already. So there's one pocket, there's a second one, and I've glued them together by just putting a line down the center so that it can expand a little farther out. Because I figured if I glued them all flat, they would not pull apart as far as possible. So I will do the same with this one. And I'm just going to put down the center. You can tell again, not very good at centering those thumb holes, am I? And probably not necessarily to put a thumb hole in these since they're kind of butted up to each other, but I did. Okay. All right, try to get them as close together as possible. Whoops, you slid. All right, just trying to get between those layers to make sure that they are okay. All right, so there we go. Don't want to pull too hard because it's still kind of wet. Get my hand in there. There we go. So I'm going to be able to pull them apart and see my stuff. So Now I decided I didn't want to leave them like this because they're just all floppy and everything, so I have decided to make a cover. And I've kind of pre-done most of it already because I thought it would take a while. I'm going to finish it off here with you. So I had this lovely, and it also had a bit of a shine to it, postcard, double-sided paper that had this fun red inside. So I decided to use this. I did add some red and white washi tape to the fold parts, just as a fun little decoration and to make sure that those areas are a little bit stronger. So this was a 12-inch by 6-inch scrap that I decided to use. I have, or no, sorry, it's 12 by 7. The reason I did that is because this folded down is 6 inches. So I figured I would add an inch to it just to give it a little bit of room for it. I probably could have went a little smaller, but I did cut it 12 by 7, and I have a 5-inch piece of that postcard left over, or scrapbook paper left over. So what I did on that is 12 by 7. I did round the corners, and I took this, and I figured it was 4.5 inches tall. So I made my first score right at 4.5 inches. Get my scoreboard, even though I don't have a score. Okay. So, again, yeah, sorry. Start that all over again. Okay, so this was 3.5 inches tall. So I wanted to make it so I could see this. So this part right here is 3. So I made my first score at 3 inches, and I made my second score at 4 to give a nice chunky bottom for it. So if I wanted to add more, I could, because there is definitely room. And as you can see, since I made this only 3, I can see all of this, and it's not impeding that anywhere. All right, so what I did then is I left room at the top here and decided to fold it down. Those measurements that I told you, I only did a 1/2 inch gusset on the top because I felt it didn't need as much as the bottom did. So I scored it from the top, the 3.5 and the 4 to make that. As you can see, it's kind of more trapezoid. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to, so it doesn't slide around, I am going to glue the front page to this in that center like I normally do. Now I'm also thinking I made these accordions out of the extra paper from my tiny little first envelopes. I was thinking about adding them to the side, just so this, because once this is glued on the front, it's going to just open up. And like I said, I don't want to necessarily glue the back, because if I want to add more envelopes, I can. So that is my story, and I'm sticking to it. So let's us glue, and this is all just made off my head, so I'm hoping it's going to work. All right, so we're going to glue the front here. And I'm making a little bit wider spot than just one line, just because it's going to be it's got to be in there good. Okay, glue string. All right, so I'm going to do my best to center it. And oh my goodness, stop sliding. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, so I think it looks pretty. Oops, I think it looks pretty centered. I suppose I could measure, but my eyeball's pretty good. Okay, so that is now glued to the front. And we're going to glue our accordions Now, yeah, I think we're going to glue the glossy side inward. So, all right. Now, if I put them near the top, probably just in the middle. Middle will be fine. I figured if all else fails, if these accordions don't work, I could always tear them out because it's kind of in the inside of a package and no one's going to see it. Or cut them out, leaving its last tab stuck to the book if it doesn't work. Okay, let's glue this side in. And I said it's really not to hold the pages together. Let's see. You're just above the line, and you're just above the line. Okay, that's pretty close. It's not meant for any reason to make it totally functional, just a little decoration and a little bit of making it stop. All right, so we're gonna glue the other side, and hopefully I will do this correctly. Again, not done it before. On a wing and a prayer, as they say. Okay, let's go this way. Okay. So how's your day going? Mine's good. I'm holding glue accordions down. And crossing my fingers at the same time that it shall work. Well. Okay. I think it might have worked. I might have could have made the accordions a little longer, so I might cut them out and double them. Maybe. We'll see. Not totally dried yet. I don't want to pull too hard on it. Okay. Yeah, and if I feel that they're too small, I might be able to just cut the accordion apart and add a little bit, oops, a couple rows in between there to make it work. So, especially if I decide I want to add more pockets eventually. Okay, now my last thought is for an enclosure or a closure on this. I was thinking a circle and a string, but that's kind of hard to be able to, you know, unstring. So I was thinking I got my magnets, get those out as they stick to things magnetic wise. And then I was also thinking I could cover them with stamps. I don't know if those would be strong enough. Oh, I wonder if I cut those out. Kind of fussy cutting around kind of wasting that paper though. But I do have there is a page in here of, oh, there they are, stamps. I do have real stamps too. Maybe some ones that feel a little thicker. Bunch of faces. All right, so if I these are strong diggins. I was thinking about doing two because one in the center might warp it a little bit as I'm trying to pull it through the center. I thought maybe two, maybe just one in the center. Yeah, just one in the center. Boom. All right, so if I'm going to do one in the center, I probably could do these two dudes. And if I put one there, I'll pretend like these stamps are facing each other. And there. I glue them down good. Should be able to pull them apart, right? Yeah, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. Okay, so probably should put it on the top one first. And this I am gonna sort of measure. Wow, it sticks through my nail. That's some strong magnets. Can I tell you? Okay. Stay. All right, so we're going to glue the magnet on with some Fabri-Tac so it's nice and strong. And we're gonna add some of this glue to the stamp, but I'm also gonna throw some Fabri-Tac on here. Just because. All right, so okay, so now to reverse this, I'm gonna have that down there, so I gotta go like that. Now I'm gonna throw some glue in the center of this, and I'm gonna put this magnet on there, and we're gonna reverse this. Okay, now we're gonna push this down. All right, that looks pretty straight. Now, try to get this off of there and know that he's in the right spot. Yeah, the key here is to really make sure the stamp is on good, because the magnet will stick to itself, and if there's nothing holding it down, it's going to want to just rip off. So, but I think I put enough glue on the magnet to the paper that the stamp is going to be okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be okay. All right, it closes and it opens. Look at that. Love it. I might still put might be good to put some sort of thing on there that I can just cover the stamp up, though. It's kind of like a, you know, what do you call it? A pull tab? Something like that. We'll see. I will mull that over. All right, let's put those two stamps away before I forget and I lose them. Red, red, where are you? Okay. All right. All right, old dudes, do your job. Okay, so, well, I think that's done. Now let me grab my people. Well, like I said, I put the big guys in the back, and I got oops, don't fall out. This way. Oh, shoot. Okay. All right, so I got all my little kids, boys and girls. Put them in the front, little kids. And then the next pouch, I'm going to put the groups of little kids. And then next pouch, I'm going to put my ladies. Oops, next pouch, ladies. Okay, ladies. And then the next pouch, my gentlemen. Okay. And then, all right, so these are the couples. Not necessarily couples as in man, woman, but two people. So, all right, so I got two people there, and then I got the ones that are in the back, 3 or more people. All right, spread these out a little so they're evenly distributed, not just through the center. Okay. I think it worked. Doesn't stand up right now, but didn't really need it to stand up, did I? No, just needed it to be, if I accidentally knock it over, my little people don't fall out. Hold that back, search for a couple kids, boom. Yeah, I think I might have to expand those accordion a little bit, get rid of those, make them a little bigger so I can pull it a little farther. Okay, well, I think that was a success. Starting with 6x6 papers, cute little gift card pockets, or adding to a page. Let me grab my recently done page here, or something like this, where if you wanted to glue that on a page to have a tag top, or maybe even glue it over a page so that you can have a flip out. You can do a tall one out of 12 inches long, or make the short, squattier ones to make a accordion wallet. Not perfect, but I think it's going to get the job done. So, all right, well, that is going to be it for me today. Hey, just popping back on with a small add-on to my video. Real quick, I made those tall ones, and I remembered that I had my really tall Tim Holtz people. So, what I ended up doing is I made two more. I made two more of them. I made one more with the same paper, and then I took the same one and reversed it. I added Velcro to them instead of the magnets, and I've got the labels on there. So I have men, women, and kids of the big ones. So I gotta just figure out how I'm gonna store those, but they should be able to. I say probably could slide them back in here, but they're probably too big. Yep, just a little too big. Okay, never mind. Yeah, so maybe I'll just, put a string around them or something to hold them together, but I don't think I'll make another pouch for them. But I just want to show you that the tall ones seem to work really well for the tall Tim Holtz people. So now back to the closing of the video. And I hope you enjoyed my take on accordion envelopes, which have probably been done by somebody, but this is how I decided to do it in my head, and I think it worked. So once again, thanks so much for stopping by, and I hope you have a very creative day.